Welcome to episode 5. Yeah, it's been a consistent series on website authoring, and the whole idea is to ensure that by the time we're done with this series, you can have something as a catalog to be able to go through over and over again and learn and grow and become that excellent and fantastic student. Okay, so in episode 5, the first thing we're looking at is how to insert animated images. Now, from your knowledge of chapter 11, file management, it's important for you to know that we have two types of images. Okay, so now I know we have four types. Yes, I know we have the PNG, the JPEG, but I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about in terms of the categories of image. We have the still image and we have the animated image. Now, the still image is the one that just is probably the one on standstill, but the animated image is the one that actually moves. Okay, so it's more or less a video with no sound. Yeah, literally a video with no sound. So there are two different methods used to place an animated image on a web page. Okay, if the file is an animated GIF, which is the graphic interchange format, the method is the same as inserting a still image. It's still the same thing. Okay, so we have a question here that we can actually use to explain this. Question 8, edit the web page saved in question 6 to replace the image with the moving image turtle logo. So I'm going to come here and I'll probably look for question 8 that I can use. So I have this. Let's look for question 8. Okay, so I'm going to open this with the Microsoft Expression Web 4. Okay, so I think we probably have the same thing here. So I'm just going to preview this in Microsoft Edge. If you're wondering what I did here, I came here where we can preview and then I clicked on Microsoft Edge. Or you can just type in F12 on your keyboard. So it's important that everything is in the same folder. It's very important that it's in the same folder. Okay, so I have it in the same folder and I have this. So I'm going to look at this. So I hope this is clear, right? The next one is to insert a video file. Now, videos can be placed, right, in a web page using what we call, this is the opening tag for video, and this is the closing tag for video. Don't forget it has the forward slash, right? And you must include the width or height attribute. Most time, you probably use what we call the embedded CSS to just add the width. Now, when you add only the width, it is maintaining what we call an aspect ratio. You need to know that. That simply means that if you make it 100%, the height automatically adjusts to what we have as the width. Now, you don't say it, but it adjusts. And in our knowledge of chapter 12 images, that will probably give you an idea of what we mean by maintaining aspect ratio. So it simply means that if I adjust the width, the height is automatically what? Adjusted. Sometimes we might have to distort the image. And distorting the image simply means that we are including the width and height attributes within that image or that video, so that the correct space is saved on the page for the video. Now we have what we call the controls attribute. Now the control attribute shows the video controls, right, and allows the user to control, and certain things that you're controlling here are the start, the pause, the maximize, the adjusting volume. Those are certain things you are controlling, right? That it allows the user to be able to control the video. So these controls give the user a little bit of control over that video. Now, the video source is different from other HTML elements. And the reason why it's different from other HTML elements is because it has a source tag on the video. While we have the video tag, it also has a source tag and it has the source attribute as well. Okay, yes, we know that it has an image tag and a source attribute, but this has a source tag. Okay, so it simply means that it will tell it will tell the browser the file type of the video to be shown. So that simply means that when we're having the source tag, we're having the source of the file. Remember, it's going to be relative. Take note of that. And then we're now telling the browser this is the type of video it needs to be. Okay. It's also important that we must include text between the video. And that simply means that error messages, just in case the video does not play. What is that error message that it needs to display for the user? Okay. So is that for this is very important for browsers that do not support HTML5 or videos of this type. Now there are acceptable video formats. There are acceptable video formats which are .mp4, .webm, .ogg, okay, and many other video formats such as .wmv would not work with the video tag, so you probably need to know that as well. So this is very important. Okay, very important. Now let's look at question 9 to give us an idea of what we need to do. Now we have open the file agiletech.html and save this as question 9. Okay, have I done that for you? Okay, okay, I think I've done that for you. Okay, so open with Microsoft expression. So I have this. Now I'm going to come here to preview Microsoft Edge. So I have this. Right, this will place the video here. Now the next thing we need to do is they said replace the text play video here with the video rec.mp4. Now let's look at this. Where's the video? This is the video here, rec.mp4. Okay, I'm not going to play it. You have the source file. You can actually play it yourself. Okay, all right. So what I will do here is I'll look for it. So place video here. So I'm going to remove this, and I have video. Okay, it was supposed to give me the closing tag for video. For some reason, it didn't. Okay, so it's fine. So we have video, we have controls, okay, and then we have the source, and then we have SRC. So this is going to be rec because it's already in the same folder. I just have to just type it exactly the way it is, MP4. That's why it's important that every file is in the same folder. Then we have the type. Now the type simply means that what type of video is this? So we know that this is a video, and the extension of this video is what? MP4. And then I'm going to close, right? And then I have my error message. The browser does not support this video type. Okay. Now, what else again? They said set the width to 400 pixels and the height to 224. So I can come here under the controls, and I'll probably do an inline style, right? And I'll do a width 400 pixels, semicolon, separate height. And what do I have here? So if the width is 400, the height is what? 224. 224 pixels. Okay, so I'm going to save this. So again, you can click here to save or come here to file and then you save. So I've already previewed this. So I'm just going to refresh and there we have it, right? So you can see that it's actually playing, and then it gives us control, like I said, to pause, to play, the maximize, okay, and then we can actually reduce the volume as well. Okay, we can also do picture in picture. That simply means that it can actually play here as well while we are doing other things as well. So I'm just going to cancel this. So you can actually see that these controls are very important here. The things I've said, the adjusting volume, the maximize, the start, the pause. Okay, so this is very important. Replace the test audio here with the audio sound. Now, before I proceed with the audio, let me skip this and then talk about the audio. Okay, so the audio file is sometimes called the sound clips. Okay, and it can be placed in a web page using the opening tag of audio and the closing tag of what? Audio. Now, the control attribute work in the similar way because again, these are certain controls that you need: the play, the adjust volume, okay, and this is very important. Now, it allows the user to control the sound clip, right? The audio source works in a similar way of the video source, so it also has the source tag, okay, so which tells the browser that the file type of the audio to be played. So you must include text between the audio for the browser that do not support the HTML5 or files of this type. So this is very, very important. Okay, so let's do it. So right here I have the place audio place audio here. I'm just going to control backspace. I'm hitting my control and then backspace to remove it word by word. So I have audio. Yes, it gives me the closing tag. And then I have, again, I'm going to put my controls here because remember I said this. I said it works, the controls attributes works in a similar way to what the video controls. So now I have here as my source, okay, and then my SRC. Now the source file is what? Wales.mp3. Do we have it here? Yes, we have it here. Okay, so I'm going to do that here. Wales.mp3. Now the type of this is what? An audio. But instead of an MP3, yes, and let's look at the full meaning of each of them. For MP4, it's Moving Picture Expert Group Layer 4, and it is a multimedia container. For the and by the way, this is cited from chapter 11, file management. Okay, under the type of videos and audio. Okay, why for the audio instead of MP3 we have it as Moving Picture Expert Group. Okay, and the reason why it is the Moving Picture Expert Group and not the MP3 is because that is a naming convention towards the extensions for the HTML. Okay, so I have this, and then I have the error message. The browser does not support this audio type. Okay, so now I'm going to save this, and I'm going to come here to refresh, and there we have it. So if you play it, hey everyone, this is Ajiro, and you're about to listen to a real sound. You probably know for the sound of it, but it shows you this. Now let's come back to a very important point here: video controls and autoplay. To remove the controls from the video, we just simply remove the controls. That simply means that we can just right here remove the controls. Okay, to autoplay the video so that it runs as soon as it has loaded onto the web page. Okay, we'll replace the controls with autoplay. So it simply means that there's not going to be any controls. It's just going to autoplay. I'll probably show you what I'm talking about. So I can just remove this to what? I'll probably just cut this and then right here, give it an autoplay. Right? I'm going to save this. Now, if I come here to this and I refresh, see what happens. Right? It's not giving us an autoplay yet. And the reason why it's not giving an autoplay yet is because many browsers refuse to autoplay unless the video is muted. So it's not going to play with the sound. Okay, this is very important. It's not going to play with the sound. But if I do this, muted, right, mute the sound for me, and I'm going to save, and I come here and I refresh, then it's going to play automatically. I hope this makes sense. So it's going to play automatically. But why this is doing an autoplay? it is not in a continuous loop. And that simply means that it is not going to the end and starting again. It's not going to end and starting again, because every time we have to do this, click on it for it to play, or since we don't have a control, we can't click for it to play, or we come here, we have to refresh our browsers every time for the video to play. Okay, so this is important. Okay, we must also add the muted attribute to the start, which we have done that. To get the video to play in a continuous loop, the loop attribute is used. So here, I can now do what? Loop. Okay, but I need the controls, so I'm going to add the controls here. I need the controls, so I'm going to add what? The controls what? Here. So I'll come here, save my work, come to this question, and I'm going to what? Refresh. So now you notice that this video was muted, and I want you to watch this. It goes to 10, and then it starts again. Okay, it goes like that, and watch it, watch for it, watch for it, see what happens, and then it starts again. So that is a loop. Okay, so this is very important. How do we apply styles to element within a web page? Color is important in web page design for both the text and background. And in this particular episode, we will be exploring colors. Okay, so it's important for us to understand that color is always defined in CSS. Either it's going to be embedded in the HTML, or it's going to be within an attached style sheet. Okay, and of course we're going to look at it later in the slide, in the episode as well. One method is to use the color names as the property value. Okay, such as red, green, blue within the HTML colors. There are currently only 16 names accepted as web standards in CSS, and by the World Wide Web Consortium, right, which is known as W3C. They are the aqua, we have the black, we have the blue, fuchsia, gray, not the American spelling, green, lime, maroon, navy, olive, purple, red, silver, teal, white, and yellow. Other color names are, however, accepted by some browsers. A table showing these colors and their name is included in the file, colorcodes.html. I'm going to open it, and so that we can all see it together. So the color codes. So I'm going to open with, and I'm going to what? Just open it directly with Microsoft Edge, so you can actually see the colors and their codes. Okay, so this is very important. Okay. Okay, so now one of the most important thing you need to take note is the fact that is of course crafted by Ajiro ND and is available in the source file sent to you. You can open this web page and use this color code in your own style sheet attached to your web page. So that simply means that you need to have this kind of color codes, right? If you have it as a file, it's easier for you to just look at it, look at the colors, look at the color codes to know how well you can, if it's the same thing or if it's quite different in the question paper. Okay, so it's not always easy to remember the names of the color, as many designers prefer to use hexadecimal codes, often refers to as what we call the hex code. Okay, so to define the color of text, backgrounds or objects, hexadecimal is a counting system. Now for the math students, you do that to be base 16, okay, where the counting is done in 16s rather than in tens used in the system. Now the reason why it's done in base 16 is because it includes what? Alphabets. Okay, so this is very important. I'll probably just show you this so you probably understand what we're doing here. So now look at this. You see that here is a decimal and here is what? Hexadecimal. So when we get to 10, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, which is the 15 here. And then when it comes to 16, we start counting from 10, 11, 12. When we get to 20, we have one. When we get to 19, um, which is from 16 to 25, we have what? 1A, 1B, and it goes across. Now, when you have this right here, you have a 98, and then you have, once it comes to 99, you have 9A, okay, and you have this. So it's still the same thing. We don't have 20, we don't use zero. I probably think you should know that, because again, when you have a 10 here is what? A. So now, I have a question. So what if it comes to the hexadecimal of 29? What would 30 be? Pause and tell me. Yes, you're correct. 2A. Yes, 2A. Okay, but if you didn't get that, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. So the primary colors when using a light, which is very different from the primary colors used in painting, are red, green, and blue. So when we're using light, is what we call the RGB. All other colors can be made from the combinations of these three colors. Now, you would notice that the initial colors are RGB, hence RGB monitors. Each of those colors can be off, partially on, or fully on. Now, this is very important. This is very important. I want to explain this. Each of those colors can be off, partially on, or fully on. If a color is off, it is set to what? Zero. That's zero, zero. That's off. If it is set to fully on, this is off. Fully on, it is set to what? FF. Okay, so to create the color for any pixels, you must tell the browser how much red, how much green, and how much blue light to show. And this means all color codes have 6 characters. The first two are red, the next two is green, the final two is what? Blue, hence RGB. Okay, this example uses what we call the hex code for red, as a red component is fully on. Please take note, as red code is fully on, so you probably have what? An FF, and the green component is off, so you have a 0 0, and the blue component is off, so you have 0 0. So here you're having what? FF 0 0 0 0 will give you what? A red. Are we together? Will give you what? A red. Now, this is an embedded color code, right? For the color combinations right here. So now for the embedded CSS for colors, you probably have in a style, and then equals to double speech marks, colors, and then this is red. Okay. Note the American spelling of colors, right? Rather than what? The English color. So we use this spelling. Let me get a white. So we use this spelling here, right, for colors, and we don't use this. Okay. The hash symbol tells the browser that the number is in what? Hexadecimal. That's the reason why we have the hash. It's simply telling, okay, that the number is in what? Hexadecimal. All of the different combinations of red, green, and blue allow more than 16 million different colors to be used. Okay, different colors to be used. So this is very important. Okay, so let's look at this. Specify background properties. Now they said set the background color, right? We have to set the background color. Hexadecimal colors can be used with background and foreground. Now the foreground is the text color. Okay, so this is one way to look at it, the text color. Why the background is the fill column, right? The fill column. So this is one way for us to look at it. So this is very important. So for example, in CSS text column, uh, it can be changed within the style attributes with the color property. This is very important. So you must set the background color using the CSS word property word background color. So this is what we use here. We use what we call what the background word color. So this is very important. Okay. So let's look at this. So we're going to look at question 10. Okay. They said open the completed question 2 and edit the web page to look like this. So I'm going to look for question 10. I think I have your work sorted out for you. So done. So I'm going to open with Microsoft Expression Web 4. So I have this, and I think I can close this really. And I'm going to click here to preview it on Microsoft Edge. And I will close this as well. So we have this. This is the completed one. Now they said what? Edit the web page. The color code you would need are this for the header and this for the footer. So this is very important. So what I would do is I'm going to copy this, right? I'll copy it, right click, copy, and I'll come here to the header. Okay. So right here I have what? Right? Background, since it's where you have the embedded style, background color, okay, background color, and I'm going to paste this. So now if I save this here, okay, if I save this here, save, and I come here to refresh, this is what I will have. Now notice that I place it in the head section because the head section affects everything there. This is very important. Now the next one is what they said. And this, I'm going to copy this. Again, the hash tells you that it's an hexadecimal. For the footer, so I'll come here. Where is the footer? The footer is here. So this one is for the text color. Now look at it. You see here. This one is for the for color. We use the keyword for. And then I'm going to do a semicolon to separate the declarations. And I have background color. And I'm going to paste this here. So I'm going to save this here. Save. And if I come here, I'm going to refresh. So this is what I'm going to have at the end of the day. Now the next one is what? And this for the table body. So I'm going to highlight this. Okay, I'm going to copy this. And then for the T body right here, I'm just going to do style equals to background color. Okay, and I will paste this. And if I save this and I come here to refresh, this is what I'll have at the end of the day. So if you look at this, you will see that that is what I am what having. So this is very important. We have not collapsed, so this is fine. So this is important. Now, it's important for you to add the style attributes to the head tag like this. And that was what I did. I added this like this. Okay, I added this like this. Now, and also add the style attribute to the T body like this. And you add this to the T foot right here like this. Now, because the footer area has color text, okay, we will add a second style attribute to the T foot. Now, this has the color text, okay. Note that the style properties are within the code so that a semi and a semicolon separate the background color and the color properties. So this is what we did. So here we have what the colors. Now in this case, we did this was before in the slide, but you can actually do it after, and this would also actually work as well. So this is very important. Hope you're learning. Okay, so the next one is apply style to a list. You can include on a web page either a numbered list We've talked about that. So this is this right here, which is an ordered list, or a bulleted list, which is what? An unordered list. Bulleted or unordered list can also be nested or placed one inside the other, right? To give you more flexibility in the design of your web page. Now, it's important for you to know that items to be placed in the list starts with what? A markup of this. So we have a markup of this, which is the list, the list opening tag, and then we have what? The list what? Closing tag. So this is very. So these are used in the same way as the style definitions for heading. When you have your heading, your H1 to H6 and the paragraph style, each item in the list must have a list tag around it. Okay, must have what? A list tag what? Around it. So this is very important. The way each of these lists is displayed can be changed using CSS. Example of item placed in a list would look like this. For example, we have this. So this is right here placed in the list. This is how you see the web page to be. That welcome to Ajiro Tech, best Cambridge IGCSE and A levels, and then you have this. Now we have the numbered list. Okay, so numbered lists are ordered lists. So that simply means that you're having them as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, as much as possible. Okay, now because they're numbers, we place this tag this around it at the start of the numbered list and the tag this at the end. So let's look at this. Question 11. Create a web page containing the heading fruit, okay, and a numbered list for the following item: apple, orange, pears, banana. So let's do that. I'm going to open question 11. Okay, question 11. So I have this, right click, open with this, and I'm going to close question 9 and then preview this as well. Okay, so we probably don't have anything here. Okay, so let's see how we can create this. I'm going to split my screen, probably split it here, and then I'll bring this here as well. Okay, and I will probably do this so you can actually see it. So I'll probably just adjust it here a bit. So we have this heading of fruit. Okay, so I have this. So this is going to be H1, any of the headings, right? Fruit. Okay, and right here I have numbered list. So this is going to be what? Ordered list. Hit on enter, and I have the list for what? Apple. I have the list for orange. I have the list for pear. I have the list for banana. I have the list for lemon. I'm going to save this. Now let's go back to the empty work we did. Let's go back to the empty work we did right here, and let's refresh. So this is what we'll have at the end of the day. Is it looking like it? Yes, it's looking like it. Okay, so this is very important. Now, question 12. Create a web page containing the heading colors and a bulleted list, not a numbered list, a bulleted list for that. So I'm going to open question 12, open with this. Okay, so I'm going to open this side by side as well so I can actually see it. Just move it here a bit, and then I have this. Okay, I think that's fine. So I have H1, which is what? Colors. Please type it exactly the way it is. And then closing H1. I noticed that it's probably closing for some reason. So I'll probably just do this. I'll save my work and I'll close it, open question 12 again. Now, when you observe something like this, it's important for you to always close and open it again. Okay, so I have bulleted list, so that's unordered list, and I have my list here. So that's what red. I have what yellow. I have blue. I have green. I have cyan. Okay, so I'm going to save this and I'll preview this on this. So this is what we have at the end of the day. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so hope you're learning. All right, nested list. Bulleted list can be nested by having sub list. These are created by placing one unordered list within another list. So essentially, you're having an unordered list here, right? And you're also having an unordered, so this unordered list, and then you can close it when you want to create another one. Okay, so this is very important. So this is the unordered list here. Okay, and then so you have an unordered list. Okay, and then you create an unordered list, and here you close an ordered list before you close this one. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'll publish you what I'm talking about. So create a web page containing the names of two students as a bulleted list. These students are we have Yanu Oluwe Balogun and we have Sochiogo. Right. It should contain the subjects they are most proficient with, and it should include the subject performance. Your web page should look at this. Okay, so let's do this. So question 13. I'm going to open this. All right. So I'm closing some things here, really. So here is what? Um, Heading, which is H1. And I have subject performance. Okay. So I think I can do this. So I can just see it really. Okay, I think this is better. Okay, so then I have what? I have my unordered list. Okay, right here. So my unordered list is going to be a list, which is what? Yanu Oluwa Balogun. And then we have another unordered list. Okay, so I'll probably just do this. So you probably, let me just indent it. So you probably just have an idea how this should be. So I have the list here. I have ICT. And I have the list here. I have mathematics. I have list here. I have economics. I have the list here. I have history. Okay, so I have this. Now I'm going to close this and then I'll open yet another one. So this is going to be an ordered list. Okay, so I have the list here. I have Sochi. Well, I'm going to indent this on ordered list. I have the list and I have physics. I have mathematics. I have the list here. I have ICT. I have the list here. I have chemistry. Okay, so this is important. Okay, so I have this right here. Now what I'm going to do this is I'm going to save right here. I'm going to save and let's preview this, shall we? I'll come here, I'll preview the edge. Okay, so just to explain this, right? Now, if you look at this, right, which is what we have here in the slide, you would notice that it is not the same, right? This is very important because again, there's an error. Now look at this. You can see that there's a space here, right? But if you look at the slide here, there is no space. So how did it happen? It's not magic anyway. It's not. But so this is what happened here. Now, if you look at the code of what we've done so far, you will notice that this is an unordered list, and we added the unordered list tag here, and then we added the list. We were not supposed to do this again. We're not supposed to add this in line 19 again. We're supposed to remove this, right? And remove this so that this closes this, and then also remove the closing tag of this as well. Because if you're going to have this to be indented, let me explain something. If you're going to have this to be indented, you only need one unordered list here, right? You only need the one for here, right? Unordered list here, and then you need the one to close it at the end of everything. So this here with the list here, and then a list here, and then you close it here. So this would not be, the rest will be indented because they have an unordered list. They will be indented, but this has just one tag. So that at the end of the day, what we are having here will be the unordered list, right? The opening tag of unordered list, the closing tag, and then we remove the space here, right? Even if you put the space, it still doesn't mean anything because again, this is now closing, right? This is the opening tag for this for line 11 and line 19, and this is closing for this. So if I save this and if I come here and refresh, can you see the difference? So this is very important. So I'm just going to remove the space here. Now, this is tax 11. But to create a new web page containing the heading subject offered, a brief introduction and an ordered list of the following subject. So this is tax 11. So I'm going to do that. Tax 11, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to right click, open with Microsoft Expression Web 4. So again, don't forget this is a comment. So let's see how we can do this. I'm going to split my screen so I can actually see what I'm working with. Okay, so I have this. So I have my heading here, H1, and then I have subjects offered. Okay, and then the following subjects are offered by this student. Now they said, look at this. They said, and a brief introduction. So that's going to be a paragraph. Okay, so I have the following. The following subjects are offered by this student. So we have this. Now the next one is what? The unordered list. So I have ICT. Oh, start it again. It's fine. I'm going to save. Probably, no, so I'm going to close it. Now open it again. Tax 11. Open with Microsoft Expression 4. So I have this. Okay, so Okay, so it's important I check this is recording, so I don't make that mistake like I did some other day ago. All right, so I have this, right? Tab. Okay, sorry. So I have this ICT. Hit on enter and come here. Have a list under the list. Okay, so I'll probably hit on enter here. So I have a list. I have below my quiz. I have a list. I have eaten. I have a list. And I have David. I have a list. I have care. Okay. All right. So I have this, right? Come again. I'll create for physics. These are the exceptional kids who are good with the subject. So I have physics. So an ordered list. Okay. So I have this. I have an ordered list. So I have my list here. Okay. So I have my list. Okay. So okay. So I have this. Now my list. Oba. Uwa. Deju. I have my list. Left click. Okay, and then I'll create another one for history. Okay, I have history here. No, 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 no. It's not gonna work. Something I know something is missing. So I have a list. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. I know. I know you said that. Literally. I was saying it anyway once I previewed, but yes. So I have this. Okay. So I have this. Okay. So tab unordered. So I have my list. I have Jade. Oh, Shikalu. Yeah. I have my list. I have Kende. I have my list. Mm-hmm. I have my list. I have to be. All right. Okay, so I have this. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this and I'm going to preview to see what I've done so far. Okay, so good. So it's looking like what we wanted here. Yeah, look like what we wanted here. So that's fine. I'm okay with this. Okay, so it's important to always check. So this is what we want. Okay, now bookmark. Bookmarks. A bookmark is a name reference point. is a name reference point in an electronic document. So it simply means that I can bookmark this so that I can make a reference on, for example, let me use this. So for example, I want to make a reference. So I can bookmark this to say, okay, these are the students who are extremely what good when it comes to ICT. Shemiloe. Okay, I have um Eaton, Rio, Kike. So these are subjects that students that are really good when it comes to subjects. So again, for bookmark, it is often used to hyperlink to that point from other locations. Okay, so it is used to hyperlink to that point from other what locations. So hyperlink is just to navigate, literally. So it takes you to that point from other locations. Again, it can be useful if a web page is very long. So links can be created to the bookmark, and when a link is clicked, the page will scroll down or up the bookmark what location. So if I have a very long list, right, I can have a bookmark. It's okay. Let me see those who are best in ICT. Let me see those who are best in physics. Let me see those who are best in history. So this is very important. You can also add links to bookmarks to other pages. Again, a bookmark can be added to most what HTML what elements. So this is very important. Again, it is a name reference point in an electronic document. So let's look at this. Hyperlinks. Now, hyperlink is a method of accessing another document or resource from your current application. So you can access another document, or you can access another resource outside the document from your current what application. Hyperlinks do not relate to the web page. Please let's take note. Other application softwares can also use them as well. So it's not only to web pages that it only relates to. Hyperlinks are often used to create menus, options with web page, either using text or what images. So when you select a hyperlink, usually by clicking the left mouse, okay, the hyperlink would perform what we call an action. Okay, it may move your position within a web page, open another page, either locally or on the internet. Okay, on the internet. Or you can open what we call an email editor, so that you can send an email to a specific place or company. The color of the hyperlink gives us what information about its use. Okay, all browsers using their default settings will display links like this. So a blue and underline links, and a blue and underline means a link that has never been used. Okay, a purple means a link that has been previously what used. A red means an active what link. So this is very important. All right, the div tag, divisions tag. Okay, we use the div tag for short for divisions or section of an HTML document. So it is used as a container. I want to explain. This is a container for HTML elements that can be styled with CSS. So essentially, we can have a div in such a way that everything here has been divided or sectioned, so that when we apply a style to it, everything here will be what affected. But we're not going to cover this, right? A division tag starts with a div tag, right? And ends with what? A div tag. So this is the opening tag, and this is what? The closing tag for div. Okay, any content can be placed in a div tag. Browsers place a line break before and after the div tag. So once a div tag is placed, it creates a line break before and what after it. Okay, the next one is anchor. Anchors. Now anchors are used to create what we call a hyperlink to allow you to navigate within the page or navigates to an external page. Now, difference between anchor and hyperlinks is that we can access another document from our current application, and it does not only relate to web page, but anchor relates to what? A web page. And that's why the anchor starts with what? It starts with what? It starts with the A opening tag, and then it closes with the A tag. So hyperlinks can be used for any applications can use hyperlinks, but it is not limited to web pages. The anchor, however, is limited. So it allows us to be able to navigate as much as possible. And there are many attributes that can be used with anchor. We will only use what? The href, which means what? Hypertext reference. That is what the href means. The href means what? Hypertext what? Reference, right? And the href attribute, they tell the browser, right, where to create a hyperlink, okay, where to create a hyperlink to, and the target attribute, which tells the browser in which window to open the linked document or page. See that now? So this is very important. Okay, so the href essentially tells the browser where to create the hyperlink, and of course your target tells the browser how they want to open the linked document or page. Okay, so we'll look at this. Create a bookmark. Now we create a bookmark. You can start by copying this to your tags folder, open it, and add unique meaningful IDs. Okay, these are the IDs we're going to add to it. Okay, these are the IDs we're going to add to it. Okay, to each section, and we'll create a bookmark before linking them. Okay, so we have another one here. Okay, we have another one here, and we have you can see that the ID attribute is inside the tag defining the style for the text. So here you're seeing that we have what? The ID here. We're having the ID here, okay, inside what? That particular style for the text. Now the ID is used in all hyperlinks to navigate this point. So we use it to what? To navigate what? This point. The href is used in this example to is this example with another what? Single tag. It does not have a closing tag. This here hr draws what we call a horizontal line across the page. It's not part of the bookmark. Okay, so this is very important. If the anchor name is visible in the browser view of the web page, it is often means that you've made a syntax error. Okay, an error in the structure of the markup, and often the opening or closing speech markup around the value. So and then the last one we're going to look at today, and then we can close. I know we've done so much, and then we can close in this episode 5. Okay, let's look at question 14. Let me open question 14. I think I'll probably just close this. Let me open question 14. Question 14. Okay, I have question. Okay, let's see. They say what? Ajiro Tech 3. So let me open Ajiro Tech 3. I'm going to right click, open with this right here. And I'm going to preview. Okay, so don't bother about this. This is an internal CSS, which is in your head section. We'll look at it. So don't bother about it. So now, what are we doing here? Notice that here we've added an ID. Okay, we've added an ID here. Okay, which is something I've done for you. We've added an ID, right, to each section. So what are the sections here? Look at the web page. Let me close this. Now, what are the sections here? This is one section, this is another section, this is another section, this is another section, and this is another section. Okay, so this is very important. So what I would do is we've added the IDs here to each of the section. Now, the next thing is they said so that each new section contains an anchor. Okay, use this section, these anchors to create hyperlink from the appropriate text in the first paragraph. Make the word top in the last line a hyperlink to the top of the page. So here, top, so I'll probably do here an ID top, create an ID here, top. Okay, okay, I've done that already. They say what? Make the word top in the last line a hyperlink. Okay, hyperlink, sorry. Okay, I've done that already. Stop is there. So let's start with this. I said use Arc to create hyperlinks from appropriate text in the first paragraph. So what have we done? We've done HTML. So I'm going to come here. The first paragraph. What is HTML? So I'm going to create a hyperlink for it. So the anchor, the hypertext reference. Now this is going to be what? Hash what? HTML. Okay, and I'll close this, and right here on the anchor tag. Now the reason why I'm not using a relative part is because this is an ID. So the hash is to locate this, and then I'll come here and paste it. So if I save my work and I come here to refresh, this is what I have. So if I click here, it takes me to this. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest for all of them. So the next one is what you see is what you get, and there's an S. The first paragraph right here, an anchor. Okay, so here is what you see is what you get, and there's a small S here, and right here I'm going to put it right here. Okay, so what's the next one? The next one is right terms. Okay, right terms. Okay, okay, so do it here. So I'm going to add my href. Okay, I have my hash right terms, and I'll do this here. Paste it here, and what again? I have style sheet href. So I have my style sheet. Okay, and then my closing anchor tag, I'll put it around the text. And what again? Let me see. So this is create and attach a style sheet. Sorry, create and attach a style sheet. So I'm going to cut this to right here. I'll paste it here. What else again? Let me see. This is going to be work with tables. So I have tables, work with tables, anchor tables. Don't forget we have to add the hash to identify the IDs. So I have this. Okay, so I'm going to save this, right? And what else? And other resources. So, and I have Ajiro Tech for other resources. Let me see, other resources. Okay, so I have this. So Ajiro Tech here for other resources. I'm going to close this. I'll paste this here. I'm going to save here. Now the next one is they said make the word top in the last line to hyperlink to the top of the page. So I have this top, so I have the hash there top. Then I'm going to cut this and I'll paste it here. Sorry, paste it here. What again? They said what? Make the word IGCSE ICT YouTube channel hyperlink to this web page, to this website. Okay, I'm just going to it's already showing a hyperlink. So highlight this, right click, do it again, copy. So I have this. So hyperlink, href. Now paste this. It's fine. Come here, delete this. The line this shouldn't be given this underline. Okay, so going to remove that. So here, okay, and I'm going to close this, and I'm going to put this around here. Now paste it here. Okay, it's giving us an underline, so I'll probably delete this. Can I paste this as a plain text? Okay, so I'll probably just do this. Okay, so I have YouTube. Okay, so it probably gives us another line as well. So I'm going to save, and let's see what we have done. So I'll come here and I'll refresh. So looking at this will give us other resources. Creating a start styles. I'm not seeing the other resources. It didn't give us the other resources. What did I do for the other resources? Did I put a hash? Ajiro Tech. What was the ID here? Oh, there's a space. Right terms, there's also a space. So that's why it didn't work. Ajiro Tech, there's a space. Let's scan the question. Is there a space there? Okay. All right, there is. So I'm going to save my work and I'll come here and I'll refresh. So it's case sensitive. So I have this. Yes. So what else? Okay. So what else? Okay. Now notice that. Notice what I was talking about. I said right here that when it shows a purple, it has been previously what clicked. So you see that you give me that purple that it has been clicked, and the red shows is what is active. So if I click on it, it shows it's active, and the blue on the other hand shows that it has never been clicked on. So this will probably take me to YouTube, right? So this is very important. Okay, so I've closed it. Let me come here and then refresh it here, and that is what I have. So let's talk about the back. So this takes me right here to the top, and this is for the underline, right? A horizontal line break. So that's what it is. So you probably see it here. After this, there was a horizontal what line break. Okay, there was a horizontal line break for it. So this is very important. So hope you are able to learn a lot in this. So I have this back to the top. Let me look at it. Okay, so I hope you're able to learn a lot right here in this particular one. video. So here we have it. We've come to the end of it. So I'm just going to do this. Done. Episode 5. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.